Remember what?
This is demons!
I am at a boiling point.
Each one of them seems to be like almost hiding something.
I'm scared.
Promise of the Father.
Have mercy on us.
Ardent charity.
Have mercy on us.
I command you by the authority of Jesus Christ our Lord, Spirit
out.
of knowledge and piety.
Get
It is He who commands you.
out!
The greatest trick the devil plays on us is making us believe that he doesn't exist.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you both for joining me today to talk about the Ghost Town Terror. You know, I'm a Las Vegas native, born and raised. So I've been in the Southwest my entire life. Calico ghost town, the state of Nevada is just filled with ghost towns,
Yeah.
right and all that. So when I heard about this series, I'm like, I'm on the phone to Discovery. I'm like, we got to talk because this is just, and I'm a Western fanatic, so this just hits, and also paranormal. I mean, big fan of these shows. So talk about all firing on all thrusters, right?
This show was made for you.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of people I know. So 6-part series on Travel Channel, streaming same day on Discovery Plus. Tim, outside of Anaconda, Montana, Gunslinger Gulch, never heard of it, old Western town, if there ever was one, right? The Broussard family had the dream to turn this 52-acre property into a tourist destination. What stood in the way of that dream, Tim?
Oh man, well, yeah, they just were facing, a ton of activity on the ranch for, over a year. But yeah, they, each one of these buildings were, brought on to the property, which for me was extremely challenging and interesting because, each one of them had their own histories. And Sapphire, did a lot of research into the buildings and, just to be there and to see what they were going through was extremely, difficult. I don't know about you, Sapphire. What?
Yeah. It's such an interesting case because I feel like with most shows, they might be dealing with just one aspect. It's the family that's haunted or the building that's haunted. But here we have so many different things that are piling on top of each other that we had to explore. And it just made it such a wild ride for sure.
I would say more than a year of paranormal activity was happening. All these attacks, unexplained scratches, apparitions, poltergeist activity. When did the family reach out for help?
They reached out to for help. I would say it's 2022, so last year. And when they reached out to me, they were just, it was extremely difficult. They want to project this image, especially Karen as being the strong, lady. It's just her and her kids living on that ranch. And she got to the point where, she just couldn't, it was not only affecting her, but her kids, and they're extremely isolated up there. And it's not like they can knock on their next door neighbor's door and say, hey, what's going on here? Can you help me?
Yeah.
It's just them on this, 50-acre ranch.
Talk about isolation, right? And being paranormal activity. Gosh, what a creepy situation that is. And, Sapphire, the Old West is full of stories and legends. Did you have any connections to the town? Anything specific, a story that you found out or?
Let me see. Well, one thing that was kind of cool is one of the buildings on the property, they call it the saloon. And it was owned by this family that was really prominent in the area, the Harringtons. And trying not to give too much away, but what's really cool is that family showed up throughout the entire investigation in different ways. And I know I'm like, wait, what can I say? But yeah, it was really cool to see how learning about the history of some of these buildings actually made some other connections make sense later, if that.
Right. So all you can say is the saloon, it sticks out more than anything else. That's the perfect. Yeah. Which makes sense because that's where the town would all gather. I would say that was a social meeting place. So if something bad was going to happen or memorable, it's going to happen in a saloon, right? We've seen enough Westerns.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And Tim, was there any specific paranormal activity that stood out for this entire 6-part series? Was there just one incident or one event that you walked away from? It's like, wow.
For me, it was, I've experienced a lot of things throughout the years, but for me, it was finding physical items. We would get, an EVP or some type of other activity that we'd experience that would lead us in the direction of these items that we would find during an investigation that actually meant something towards, our overall goal. But
Yeah, physical evidence that
yeah,
backed up.
physical. Yeah, it's one thing to get like EVPs and all that, but even the first EVP that we got, talking about EVPs, the first EVP that we got on our first investigation, I thought was really foretelling of what we would experience later.
You found a gold mine. No pun intended there. Yeah.
No pun
Physical
intended.
evidence.
Yes.
And then Sapphire, you had to bring him back up too. Sarah Lemos, who was instantly affected when she got there, I hear.
Yes, Sarah Lemos. She was our medium on set, and she, the second that she got on set, she was feeling all different types of things, and she was saying words that related to our case just spot on. So that was a really interesting day. I remember just staring at her like, what is happening? But it was kind of cool to get that validation that, okay, if she's picking up on these things that we are finding, then we have something here.
Yeah. And Tim, you had to bring in your buddy Scott too. He pitched in as well.
Yeah, I brought in Scott. It was just such a large location. I mean, and there was so much information that we were trying to go through during the 6 episodes, the time that we were out there. So definitely having Scott out there was definitely helped.
And finally today, did you have any, usually every year when we have shows like this, you have new equipment or something that advances what your research is. Was there any new equipment you used for this series? I'm surprised how an ultraviolet light goes a long way, in the show.
Yeah, I think like one of the things that was really cool was we used a God's helmet, which we placed on one of the members of the family during one of the episodes, and that to me was what we got during that session was amazing in terms of how we were later able to use that information.
Well, congratulations, The Ghost Town Terror on Discovery Plus, streaming on Discovery Plus and on the Travel Channel. Congratulations, and thanks for joining me today. Let's talk again soon.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jeff.